The following is a paid advertisement. The views expressed are the sole responsibility of the advertiser.
I'm attorney Justin Clark. Coming up just ahead on You Have Real Estate, how do you find out what your house is really worth? Also, should you use a vacation rental company or not? And so much more to get to. It's all just ahead. It's You Have Real Estate. Are you worried about your student loan payments? I don't blame you. The great news for you is now we have more options than ever. Go to our website, youhavepower.com, to find out what options may exist for you and your student loans.
You Have Real Estate is proudly sponsored by Renewal by Andersen, your full-service window and door replacement company. Learn more at rbafla.com.
Welcome to You Have Real Estate, as always, brought to you by Renewal by Andersen. I am your host, Justin Clark. A wonderful show ahead today, but in just a moment, the opening statement first, though. A lot of you are thinking about selling your home right now, and you approach me, you say, I want to show my house off on your television program. I don't blame you. A lot of people watch this show. It's all about real estate. If you would like to show your home on this program, call the phone number 407-205-0400. I'll do that for you. I won't charge you a penny. I'd be happy to oblige you. Now, the opening statement. A lot of question marks right now with buyers out there. Number one, the question is, should I buy now or not? Rates have been high. They're coming down a little bit. Number two is, what agreement do I need to sign with my buyer's agent before I start looking for properties? And lastly, it's, I want to buy an investment property. I want to rent it short term. Is that a good investment right now? Wonderful questions and questions that we will answer by asking real questions. Every week in here on the program, we ask real questions to the truly trend-setting people in Central Florida's real estate community. Very happy to kick it off. Return visitor, good friend Matt Miller is here, LPT. Hey, Matt, how are you?
Yes, good. Thanks for having me.
And for the first time from Orlando Short-Term Rentals, Valentina Naumenko is here. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me today.
Good. Let's start with you, because we all know the NRA settlement has kind of changed things a little bit. I don't think it's changed things for the bad at all, but when a buyer is now coming into the market looking to buy a home, what do they need to sign?
Well, they're going to need to sign at a minimum a touring agreement saying that they're going to use this particular realtor to show them the property. That touring agreement then can lead to more. It's going to determine what the commission is that the showing agent requires. Now, that can vary and it can be negotiated, and we typically try to recoup that from the seller, which is how it's always been in the past. But it is potentially a cost for a buyer, but it's always been a cost for a buyer.
What is a normal percentage now? I'm sorry to put you on the spot. I don't know.
Yeah, it's really on the value, but I would say anywhere from 2 to 4% is what it's going to cost for a buyer to have an agent.
AKA where it's always been. And they're going to try to, and most of the time succeed in getting the seller to end up paying this down the road anyway. Is in some way a commitment from a buyer to the buyer's agent as well?
It's a commitment, but it's something that if you don't like your agent, you can, with the touring agreement, you can just cancel it and find another agent in the area. Yeah. And that's the point now where buyer's agents really need to show value and bring worth to the client and show that they deserve to have the business.
Yeah. What is that value? What is the value you bring to a buyer right now as their buyer's agent?
Well, with LPT, there's tons of value that we bring, along with the tools that we have, the agreements, the ability to negotiate, get concessions back for our buyers, for our clients. So it's really important to make sure that you use a qualified agent that knows the market and knows how you can get your best deal put together.
Got it. Now, a lot of people buy houses, especially in Orlando, the tourism capital of the world, it feels like. They buy houses and they want to rent them, right? They want to rent them short term. We have a little thing called Disney World, Universal, where a lot of people are here visiting and they rent. When someone buys a property to put it into vacation rentals, how does that process go? And is it still a good investment?
Well, yes, it is good investment as long as you make a smart decision and work with the right people. And real estate agents in this transaction are very critical because they can really be help in finding that sweet property that will generate return on investment, or they can just kill it.
Yeah.
Because as we just discussed, that there are properties that not suit as a good vacation rental, and a lot of investors ended up with having like 9 bedrooms vacation homes or 15 bedrooms vacation homes that hard to rent. They're not happy, their numbers don't look good. So when you work with the real estate agent on your transactions to purchase one, you really need to look into rental analysis to understand that this property is able to bring the numbers you need.
If I'm looking to invest in real estate for short-term rental, what am I looking for? What are some of the real things I should be on the lookout for?
Well, the property features itself. So you really need to differentiate yourself from any hotel room that Orlando offers. And Orlando has more hotel rooms than any city in the world.
Yeah.
So it has to be a single family home with a private pool, preferably overlooking some water or conservation area. Has to be close to Disney or Universal, basically 15-20 minutes. You have to consider the traffic that we experience nowadays. Theme of the room, so people really like to have those nice themes of Disney characters in their bedrooms for the children. I would say optimal option is 4-bedroom.
Okay.
Single family home with a private pool. And with the marketable price, you're looking for 7% return on investment.
Got it. Yeah. I've had a little bit of a bipolar attitude on the real estate market in the last really couple of months, Matt. And I kind of live in this world and I go by feel and I go by numbers. And I was really strong on it. And then about a month ago, I started to feel almost like the interest rates had shocked our real estate economy a little bit and slowed it down dramatically. Now, just over the last few weeks, I feel like with the rates coming down a little bit, I feel a buzz again. What are you feeling down in the trenches in this current real estate market?
I'm seeing a huge buzz right now. So with the rates as being the lowest they've been in probably 15 years, well, not 15 years, prior to the last pandemic, we really have a lot of opportunity right now. The market has houses that have been sitting for a long time. The average time to sell right now in Volusia County, 74 days.
Wow.
So with homes sitting longer, you've seen a lot of price decreases, rates are dropping, more buyers are being priced back into the market that they can afford to buy. So you're gonna start to see a big swell of people jumping back in and buying and more competition, which in turn could potentially drive the housing prices back up. So
I have been telling you buyers that, okay, there's going to be a big push for buyers when the rates come down a little bit, and that's exactly what's happening. And now is the time, if you want to buy a house, I think, to really get out there and buy that house, because I think there are going to be more and more buyers as the rates come down. It's inevitable, and there's going to be more competition that you're fighting with. All right, Valentina, one more question for you. So I bought some investment real estate. I want to do short-term rentals, right? Mm-hmm. But you know what? I feel like I can go on the internet and kind of do this myself. I'll hire the cleaning crew. What do you say to someone who wants to handle all of that themselves?
Don't do that. You can handle your listing, and a lot of people do it as an Airbnb platform, for example, allows them to do it, to be an Airbnb host. But you need to maintain your property. You need to make sure you know who cleans this property, what are they checking, who does maintenance to this property, does inspections done as people check out, people check in. You need to have a feel of that. And that's one of the biggest mistakes that people do. But now with all of these third-party platforms, it is very possible to be a listing host and manage money part, but you need to have a partner, someone you can trust on site.
I agree. Orlando short-term rentals. Keep up the great work over there. Very impressed with what you guys are doing. Valentina, welcome back anytime, okay?
Thank you.
Great to meet you. Matt, always a pleasure to see you, buddy. Keep up the great work over at LPT. You guys are dominating over there. It's I feel like you're always one step ahead than other brokers out there. So
we are. We're a step ahead, and we're still moving. So we're growing 33 states by the end of the year in Canada.
I love it. I used to live in a very cool neighborhood, and then what happened? I had children, and I was forced to move to the suburbs. However, after a quick break, we're going to go visit my old neighborhood. Where is that in Orlando? As You Have Real Estate continues. Do you have allergies? Do your children have allergies? Well, at least you know in your home you are safe from allergies, right? No, You're not. The windows in your home can be giving allergies a major boost to your family, and this is very scary. Dan Brigman's here, Renewal by Anderson. You think when you're in your house, you're safe from all this outdoor stuff, but you're not.
You're absolutely right. You think so, but what we've learned is as the season gets warmer and these allergies start to come out, what also happens is our AC runs a lot more, right? When your AC runs, remember, there's a return in the house. It's sucking air from somewhere. If you have broken seals in your window, that pollen, those allergenic, anything can be pulled through there. And the more that AC is running, the more those allergies that are coming into your home, and therefore you're waking up stuffed up.
Get your windows checked out. QR code is on the screen right now. You talk about AC, though. When I hear my AC running, I immediately think my electricity bill. Oh, my gosh, it's that time of year where I have to pay a ton of money to my electricity bill. Windows, though, contribute to that bill as well. 100%.
It's time to put a stop to the high energy bills. You have to. And there's a lot of other reasons to make the investment, but that's one of the biggest ones. What will happen is when you replace these windows, which equate to about 25% of the square foot of your home, that's a lot of glass. That's one whole wall of the house. All of that sun beating in, and on even the chilly days, that heat that you have inside going out, that will reduce your energy bill somewhere between the neighborhood of 20 and 30%. In most cases, will reduce that payment enough to pay for the windows themselves.
I love it, Dan. Thank you. Great job as always. Do yourself a favor. Check out your windows today with Renewal by Anderson. Thanks to our amazing friends at Universal Roof and Contracting who did the roof on my house recently, did such a great job. They send Vivian every week to a new neighborhood. Viv's in your neighborhood, a very special place to me. I kind of grew up, when I first moved to Orlando, this is where I lived, this is where I hung out, ate, might have drank too much, then I had kids, forced to move to the suburbs. Viv's in your neighborhood, in my old neighborhood, Thornton Park.
I'm in Thornton Park today, probably my favorite trendy neighborhood that borders Lake Eola Park. This area was home to cattle barons, then to citrus growers and the bankers who loaned them money. They built brick streets and neoclassical and Tudor homes. When the interstate was built, many moved to the suburbs and it became somewhat abandoned. But then in the late 1990s, we saw a revitalization of the area with the young professionals moving here and setting up shop. Basically considered downtown Orlando, this community now has many restaurants, neighborhood bars, and indie shops. The homes vary from bungalows and brownstones to high-rise condos. The median household income is about $130,000. The median home value in 2023 was $528,000. Located in the middle of the district is Lake Eola Park, where you can rent swan-shaped paddle boats, snap pictures of the live swans, or experience a show at the Walt Disney Amphitheater. Fun fact for all you dog lovers out there, Thornton Park is considered one of the most dog-friendly areas in Orlando. That's why you will see many shops and restaurants with outdoor seatings with beautiful views of Lake Eola. It's also part of one of Orlando's Main Street districts, so there's always a celebration or block party to enjoy. Don't miss the Art and Wine Walk, which takes place every second Thursday of the month. If you'd like more information on Thornton Park or what's available, please call me, Vivian Lehman, at 407-205-0400.
Thank you, Viv. A lot of great memories for me in Thornton Park. And thank you, Universal Roof and Contracting. Welcome back to the show. Matt Miller is here. Matt, we talked a little bit about the real estate market, and we're both feeling good about it and bullish about it. You have a great listing here in Daytona Beach. I think would be great for an investor, even maybe a young family as well. Tell me about 811 Cottle Circle South.
Yeah, it's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath. It's been updated, brand new AC, new garage door. Roof is only 7 years young, and it is in perfect condition for a family to move in. It's a great opportunity for an investor, close to Embry-Riddle, Bethune-Cookman, so a lot of students are here and need rental space. Great time to make up your money there in a rental.
I look at the price point here for an investor as well. It's pretty good. What's the price?
$250.
$250.
$250 for an updated 4.2. It is the best deal that you can find right now in Daytona.
How important as a buyer, whether I'm looking to live in the property or as investment, how important is the roof and the AC unit?
It's extremely important. So those are the things that are going to drive, well, especially the roof is going to drive your insurance. So you need to have at least 15 years or 5 years left of life So anything that's 15 years or older, you're looking at wind mitigation to try to determine if you can get insurance on that.
Exactly. Matt, always good to see you, buddy. If you'd like to see this property, especially if you're an investor looking for a great deal on an investment property, call the phone number on the screen right here, 407-205-0400. Maybe you want to buy that house. Maybe you want to buy a different house. Buyers are getting pulled in so many different directions right now. You're confused, and I understand why you're confused. Let's get rid of some of that confusion, and who better to do that with than two good friends of mine. Tai Phan is here. Tai, how are you, sir?
Good, Justin. How are you?
And Dallas Lehman. Weird time for buyers, Dallas. The rates have been up and down, mostly up. What are you seeing now? Because I think buyers have been waiting on the sidelines saying, well, I'm going to wait till the rates come down, which maybe wasn't the best idea because I think there's going to be a lot more competition when the rates do come down. What's going on with them now?
Well, I've got to tell you, right now is a very, very good time to jump in. If you were the least bit hesitant and worrying about rates, which goes against everything I say,
Yeah.
but the bottom line is rates right now are very, very good. I'm just going to give you a little range of where they are as we speak today. If you were pricing an FHA loan, you can probably get that rate. I know I can quote that rate at 5.75%, 30-year fixed, and that is probably paying some of the buyer's closing costs. We can go all the way down to 4.25% on a 30-year fixed, and they will be paying a little bit toward that pricing. But people, to answer your question, Justin, they're talking about being a little hesitant right now with rates. Rates are excellent right now. You should not be waiting on rates. It's a great time to jump into the market.
I agree. And buyers also getting pulled in different directions, Ty, because in the past, as a buyer, you would kind of go online and hit a couple properties you liked and then call your agent or even just call the listing agent and go see a house. Now, when you're working with a buyer's agent, things have changed a little bit, not for the worse for anyone.
Absolutely not.
What are the questions buyers have now when it's working with their buyer's agent?
Yeah, they're asking, the main question right now is who's paying your commission, exactly who's paying that. And if we're talking technicalities, the buyer is supposed to pay the commission. However, with that being said, as my fiduciary right as your realtor, my job is to negotiate the seller to pay my commission, so you're out of pocket at least nothing or at least a little.
Yeah. How is that conversation going? Are buyers scared? Are they confused? How are buyers feeling?
It's getting better. There was a lot of initial hesitations, like, do I even have the money to pay this? Am I going to be forced to pay at the end? But as long as you have a proper realtor to properly educate what's going on with the NAR settlement, at the end of the day, nothing has really changed.
I don't think it's a bad thing at all. I really don't think this is bad for buyers or sellers. In fact, I think everything is weirdly the same. It's still a negotiation. It's always been a negotiation. Now, someone is out there looking to buy a house right now. They're talking to their agent. They've seen a few houses. At some point, you're going to have to get a mortgage as well. How do guys like you work together and the time frame on that, Dallas? If I'm looking for a house now, when should I be reaching out to you?
Very simply, and great realtors like Ty, they all do the same thing. They know that they can't even begin to sell without a pre-approval letter. And no pre-qualifications, no basic information. You need that pre-approval letter to give to that listing agent so you can make sure that your buyer is ready to go. So 30 days out, usually, because you write contracts within 30 days, generally speaking, we like to get together, and I can probably have that pre-approval ready in 1 or 2 days very quickly. That way we have complete confidence. The buyer says, great, I know what I can purchase. The realtor says, now I can represent that person. I can hand that letter in. We can start it. We can get it done. And Florida's a very good market right now. Everything moves very quickly and very smoothly along those lines.
We have a big election coming up in November, and no matter what side you're on, we're not going there on this broadcast television program. But in an election year, there's some volatility normally. What do you see happening with interest rates throughout the rest of the year?
I've said this before, excuse me, when I've been on the show several times. Let's talk about the Fed. The Fed has not been right once this year in their predictions on what rates are going to happen. They spoke roughly, I believe it was 2 weeks ago, and they made a signal that they said that rates will be cut before year end. I truly believe this time they will. The volatility in the market right now is, and we're talking strictly towards elections, and that's a very good place to do it. The Fed holds itself harmless in saying they're not a political action or motivated rate changer. Thank you very much. But long story short, I think you're going to see some more great movement toward interest rates, I think we're going to have some good movement toward that right now before the election.
As rates have gone up so much this year, what kind of an impact has that had on the real estate market and the values of real estate?
Yeah, I mean, just like Dallas said, people are, and I think you said it perfectly too, people are standing on the sidelines to see what's going on because they don't know, right? And, you know, if we're looking at inventory right now, the mid-market inventory is kind of running scarce because people are being priced out on the higher inventory. So it's people are standing on the sideline, but it's really about education. With the partner, Dallas, really educating about the rates, it's going to help out with it.
And again, you date the rate, you marry the house, Dallas, and there's so many, like, you can refinance anytime you want. Why not fall in love with your dream house, and if the rate's a little bit higher in a year or whatever, when they come down, you can refinance.
Justin, you're exactly right. You're very well educated. You've talked about this many times, as have I. And again, I had a client that I closed last week, and they were working with their parents, got a great deal for them, all the rest of it. But in that transaction, they were already talking about, when can we refinance this? And I won't say the exact rate. They got a very good rate, but they're looking forward. So they took that principle exactly to task. They said, we're marrying this home, we love it, we're getting a great rate. But they had a point in mind where they really wanted to get to, and they know, like you said about the economy and the politics, they forecast that within 12 to 14 months they will be able to refi and even get that even lower. So yes, you're absolutely right.
I agree. Rest of this year, what do you think happens real estate-wise?
It's good. It'll be interesting to see. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see with the rates, with Dallas saying. I don't even know that answer. Yeah.
Ty left his crystal ball at home. I see.
I'm not going to leave it out there, and you guys like, well, you said it wrong, and then I'm going to leave it out there.
If you want to start looking for your dream home right now, you need to get pre-approved before you do so. Reach out to Dallas right away. If you want an awesome agent to work with, buying or selling, reach out to Ty. He'd be happy to talk to you as well. A very quick break. When we return, so much more to get to, and we'll close the show as You Have Real Estate continues. Hurricane season is here. People are preparing right now. You guys prepare like crazy in your house. You're buying canned food, water, power generators, the whole shebang prepared for hurricane season. However, when it comes to preparing for hurricane season, you need to prepare your air conditioning unit as well.
Yes, our friends at Old Ash gave us some awesome tips on what you should do before the storm. You should start by using a suitable anchor to support the outdoor condenser.
Keep the area of items around the AC unit clear because they could always be ejected and really ruin your unit.
Yeah, keep the drains around the air conditioner unit clean as well to prevent water accumulation.
Because water entering that unit could cause a short circuit.
Consider using a weatherproof cover designed for AC units. This can protect the unit from flying debris and heavy rain.
Those projectiles.
Yes,
that's what we call
the things
them
you
here,
don't
right?
want to deal with.
During the storm, also install a surge protector for your AC unit to protect it from surges, of course, caused by lightning and power outages.
You should be sure to take a photo of your AC unit and document the serial number because this information can be helpful when it comes to insurance claims.
As a note of interest as well, though, prior to the arrival of a storm or hurricane, you can lower the air conditioner in your house to keep it cool. That way it's already super cold, which you like anyway.
I do.
And then if the power cuts out, it takes a while to heat up the house.
When the storm does hit, keep the air conditioning unit off because consistent power interruptions could cause damage to the compressors as well as other parts of the unit.
After the storm, inspect the condition of the unit, verify that it has not been damaged. If the equipment was not affected, turn on your AC.
I mean, yeah, and you should always keep cleaning your unit to avoid the accumulation of humidities and fungus and other bad things.
Exactly right. Thanks to Old Ash and Duquesne Air Conditioning for giving us an amazing unit number one and these amazing tips to protect your air conditioning unit during hurricane season. Welcome back to the show. I'm often asked, how do I really know what my house is worth? Justin, I know exactly what my house is worth. I went to Zillow and Realtor.com and Trulia, and I averaged them. I don't know if that's a really effective way to find out what your house is worth. Your most valuable asset, your house, you're going to go to one of these websites, and that's what's going to dictate what it's worth. I don't think this is a very good idea, especially in a very changing market. Elisha Lopez is here, Ocala Realty World. This market has been a little weird. You know, it's been up, it's been kind of stagnant. Feels like maybe it's getting a little better now. I don't know. It's been a weird market for sure. And what that means is it's very hard to figure out what your house is worth. I mean, so one thing, you can go pay $500 and have an appraiser do it, right? I mean, that would probably be pretty accurate. You can rely on the websites. What I like that you do at Ocala Realty World for someone who is thinking about selling, I like that you will go out to their house and give them a real honest market analysis of what their house is worth. What do you look at when you go to someone's house to really tell them what it's worth?
Well, square footage is kind of like the guiding rule, but there's a lot of other factors other than the square footage, because the year of the home, condition of the home, extra features. But sometimes like a homeowner's going to think that because they maybe put 20 brand new ceiling fans that they were each $1,000, that their value of their home is going to go up. And a lot of times we're like, well, if you love them that much, we should take it with us to the next home, because there's no value in things like that.
Yeah, or maybe you overpaid for ceiling fans, if you know what I mean. Here's what I would like you to do. If you're thinking about selling your house, really anywhere, but certainly in Marion County, Levy County, that North Florida area, there's not one real estate professional out there that knows that market any better than Elisha. QR code on the screen right here. Your information will go directly to Elisha. She'll call you up. She'll come to your house and say, look, this is what it's worth. This is my analysis of your home. And guess what? It cost you nothing to do that. And quite frankly, I believe that should be the first step in the listing process, is really figuring out what your house is worth. And you will go to their house and really take a look at it, because how can you tell what a house is worth if no one's even seen the inside?
Oh, absolutely. And you cannot. And so there's a lot of, like, with the online stuff, and that, like, we've always called it buyer's bait or seller's bait, depending on what kind of market, or both of their baits, but it's just to like reel you in. And a lot of times they go on Zillow, they go on realtor.com, and then they're like, oh wow, okay, I want to sell. Well, then they click on the agent that's paying for advertising, and they don't realize that they don't have, most of the time they don't really have the experience to really value their property, and they'll be leaving money behind.
Yeah, it's hard enough on a house, even more difficult for someone who maybe has been sitting on land for generations. And we're seeing that in Ocala. We're seeing land sell for a lot of money for development. How can you really value land if someone's sitting on land out there, anywhere in North Florida? Can you go up and really tell us what it's worth?
Absolutely. It's just, again, the whole experience thing, because if you are working with a broker or an agent that they really haven't sold land, or maybe they haven't sold a lot of acreage, because it's a big difference between a quarter of an acre in an area with a lot of homes than 10, 15, 20 acres out in the middle of nowhere. It's a tough one.
It can kind of be like finding oil in some ways, because I think what happens is literally this land is sitting in a family for generations, passed down, and you know, maybe the son or daughter don't really have any skin in the game. They didn't pay for it. It's just been passed down. It's always been up, well, that doesn't really have any value. You have spotted some gems out there that have become shopping malls. They've become residential developments. How do I know if my land could be worth some money, you think?
Well, obviously call. And, you know, it's going to be a lot of research. The more developed the area, the easier the research is going to be. In the more rural, remote areas, it just takes a little bit longer, but you start to learn through the years of selling them that that type of land, like a typical buyer, is going to be. And again, it all comes with experience.
Should someone who owns land, not sophisticated in real estate, try to like break it up and parcel it out? Should they do that themselves, you think?
No, it always sounds like a good idea, but usually when we run into those type of sellers, they wish they didn't do it, and they spent way too much money for no reason.
Time, money, paid a bunch of lawyers a bunch of money, and really got you nowhere. I agree with you. I think it's better to probably sell it like that. Elisha Lopez, Ocala Realty World, always a pleasure to see you. QR code for Elisha on the screen. If you want to know what your house or your farmland or land is worth, she is the person to talk to. Thank you to our amazing crew, as always. Most importantly, thank you. See you again next week for more You Have Real Estate.
The proceeding was a paid advertisement. The views expressed were the sole responsibility of the advertiser.